Let's read Shinchan. First, listen as Yumi reads the page. Don't worry if you don't understand much. We'll explain it all.
ほほう、そういえば近頃母ちゃん美人になったな。お世辞は通用しないわよ。母ちゃんお部屋欲しいよ。泣いてもダメ。わっはっはっはっは。笑ってもダメ。ぬおーん。おら、ぐれてやる。家庭内暴力してやる。しんのすけの家庭内暴力。アクション家庭内暴行ビーム。どんどこどんどこ。どうだ参ったか。これでもか。ゴロゴロゴロ。ぷ。でも家庭内暴力なんてとんでもないことだわ。バキボキバキ。ごちん、ごん、ごき。ごめんくさい。ごめんなさいでしょ。そうとも言う。仕方ない。そこまで強く思ってるのなら、試しに君だけのお部屋作ってあげるか。ほんと？わーい。だったら初めからそう言えよ。苦労させやがって。と思っている。ブツブツ。なんか言った？
In this short scene, Shinchan tries to use flattery to get his mother to give him a room of his own. Let's go panel by panel and examine the vocabulary and grammar in detail.
ほほう、そういえば近頃母ちゃん美人になったな。
Ho ho. Oh, well. Well, well. It's an exclamation often used when someone is impressed or intrigued. Soyeba. Speaking of which, this is often used phrase when something suddenly comes to mind. In this case, he sees his beautiful mother and seeing her reminds him of something. Chikagoro. Recently, these days, nowadays. Ka-chan. Mom. The chan is a familiar, affectionate suffix. It's casual. It's a childlike way of addressing one's mother. Bijin ni natta. Became beautiful. Bijin means a beautiful woman. It means literally beautiful person, but it's only used for women. The ni particle indicates a change of state, and natta, became, is the past tense of naru, to become. The na expresses emotion or admiration or a realization in this case, and is elongated for emphasis. Putting this all together, we might translate this panel as, Ho ho! Now that I think about it, Mom, you've gotten pretty hot lately.
お世辞は通用しないわよ。
Oseji is flattery, and the wa makes it the topic. Tsuyo shinai, won't work, won't be effective. Tsuyo is applicability or effectiveness, and shinai is the negative form of suru, to do. So it means that won't work. Flattery won't work. And then finally, the enders wa and yo. Wa is a feminine sentence ender, and the yo is a particle that adds certainty or assertiveness. So this means flattery won't get you anywhere.
母ちゃん、お部屋欲しいよ。泣いてもダメ。
Ka-chan. Again, we mentioned this earlier. Childlike way of addressing one's mother. Ohea, room. The o is an honorific prefix. Heya means room. So it's a polite way to say a room. Hoshi, want, desire. And yo, it adds emphasis. It's an emphatic ending particle to emphasize that he really wants his room. Naitemo, even if crying. The naite is the te form of naku, to cry, here used with temo to mean even if crying. Dame, no good, useless, not allowed. So in other words, crying won't work.
わっはっはっはっは。笑ってもダメ。
Wah ha ha ha. This is a sound effect of a loud laughing. Crying didn't work, so he's going to try laughing. But his mother says, waratte mo, even if you laugh. Dame, it's no good. Laughing won't work either.
ぬおーん。 おら、グレてやる。家庭内暴力してやる。
No, it's exaggerated crying effect. Ora. That's Shinchan's pronoun of choice. It's kind of a rough way of saying I. Gureru, to become rebellious or delinquent. Yaru, to do. Elongated for childish emphasis. Katenai, within the home, domestic. Kate is family or home, and nai simply means inside. Boryoku means violence. Shiteyaru. Shiteyaru just means that he will do it. So this might be, no, dramatic crying sign. Fine, I'm going to turn delinquent. I'm going to unleash domestic violence on this house.
しんのすけの家庭内暴力。
Shinnosuke no. This means Shinnosuke's. Now, Shinnosuke is Shinchan's full name, and the no is a possessive particle. We saw this earlier. Katenai means domestic or within the home, and boryoku means violence.
アクション家庭内暴行ビーム。
The action here is based on Shinchan's favorite anime superhero called Action Kamen, the masked action hero. Katenai, which we saw earlier, domestic or within the home, and then boko, which means assault or violent attack. It's similar to what we saw with boryoku, but boko is the act of doing violence. Beam, beam. It's katakana English loanword for beam, which is the laser beams of Action Kamen. So we might translate this as action move, domestic violence beam, or something like that.
どんどこ、どんどこ。ゴロゴロゴロ。
These are just sounds of stomping, and goro goro is a rolling sound effect. Something heavy is rolling or tumbling around. It can also be used to describe thunder, a hungry stomach, or even the purring of a cat.
どうだ、参ったか。これでもか。
Doda, how about that? What do you think? Maita ka? Have you given up? Maita is the past tense of mairu, to be defeated, and ka is the question particle. Koredemo ka is an idiomatic phrase that kind of means, are you still not satisfied with all this? Even after this, you're still not going to give up? So altogether, this might be, how's that? You give up yet? You want some more?
ぷ。
And then the mother kind of snickers, she says, poop, which indicates a soft, suppressed laughter.
でも家庭内暴力なんてとんでもないことだわ。バキ、ボキ、バキ。
Demo, but, she says, even though that was kind of cute, yes, I'll give you that, Shinchan, we can't allow that. And then, katenai boryoku, domestic violence. Nante is often used to show disdain or strong negativity toward whatever the noun is before it. Tondemonai, outrageous, unthinkable, koto, thing or matter. And then da is the copula and wa is a feminine ender. The baki, boki, baki is her cracking her knuckles sound. So we might put this together as, but seriously, violence in the home is absolutely unforgivable. And then she cracks her knuckles.
ごちん、ごん、ごき。
Here we have stronger sounds. These are impact sounds. Hitting, knocking, crunching. Stronger and more painful. In other words, this is Shinchan's corporal punishment.
ごめんくさい。
In this scene, the correct way to apologize is ごめんなさい. I'm sorry, as his mother insists. However, Shinchan mischievously says ごめんくさい, swapping the polite apology with kusai, stinky. This creates a childish and silly pun, turning a serious apology into a joke about something smelling bad. Additionally, ごめんください means excuse me or may I come in. It's a polite, very common phrase used when calling out at somebody's door. So Shinchan's twisted version might also be loosely playing on that familiar expression, making the pun even more absurd and layered.
ごめんなさいでしょ。
Sorry, でしょ? Don't you mean that? So in other words, it's sorry, isn't it?
そうとも言う。
Literally, this would be that also say. Or, put it together, That's one way to put it. Or you could also say that. In other words, it's a half admission. Shinchan being slippery, not fully admitting he was wrong, but pretending his version, ごめんくさい, is just an alternative and equally correct to his mother's version.
仕方ない。
This is a casual filler. Well, 仕方ない. It can't be helped.
そこまで強く思っているのなら、試しに君だけのお部屋作ってあげるか。
そこまで. To that extent. If you're going to go to that extent, 強く means strongly, 思っている, thinking, feeling. No nara, if that's the case, 試しに as a test, on a trial basis, 君だけの only for you, only yours. 君, you, だけ, only, no is the possessive particle or apostrophe s. お部屋 room, 作ってあげるか. Shall I make it for you? 作って to make, あげる for you, to do something for you, か the question tone. Well, I guess it can't be helped. If you're that determined, maybe I'll make you your very own room as a test.
本当？わーい。
本当? Really? Truly? Why? A cheering sound effect. But then Shinchan turns and thinks about what he's been through.
だったら初めからそう言えよ。
だったら, if that is the case, 初めから, 初め, beginning, から, from the beginning. So yeah, why didn't you just say so? So that, in other words, what she just said, yeah is the imperative form of you to say. Yo is for emphasis and adding force.
苦労させやがって。
Kuro sase, making someone suffer. Kuro means hardship, and sase is the causative form of suru. Yagatte is a rough way to say you did it or you made me go through all that. It adds resentment or complaints. You had the nerve to make me go through all that.
と思っている。ぶつぶつ。
と思っている, thinking. And then the butsu is just indicating grumbling or muttering under his breath. So we might translate all this as Shinchan grumbling under his breath. If you were going to give me a room, you should have said so from the beginning, making me suffer like that.
なんか言った？
What? なんか, something, 言った, said, past tense of you to say. Did you say something? Now that we've gone through it all, let's listen to Yumi read it one more time. I'm sure you will understand more this time around.
ほほう、そういえば近頃母ちゃん美人になったな。お世辞は通用しないわよ。母ちゃんお部屋欲しいよ。泣いてもダメ。わっはっはっはっは。笑ってもダメ。ぬおーん。おら、ぐれてやる。家庭内暴力してやる。しんのすけの家庭内暴力。アクション家庭内暴行ビーム。どんどこどんどこ。どうだ参ったか。これでもか。ゴロゴロゴロ。ぷ。でも家庭内暴力なんてとんでもないことだわ。バキボキバキ。ごちん、ごん、ごき。ごめんくさい。ごめんなさいでしょ。そうとも言う。仕方ない。そこまで強く思っているのなら、試しに君だけのお部屋作ってあげるか。本当？わーい。だったら初めからそう言えよ。苦労させやがって。と思っている。ぶつぶつ。なんか言った？チャンネル登録してね。